right? Right, yeah. We're talking about the Alpha Star again. It's true, it's true. Well, there's these tournaments as well, right? Where they talk about just the... where it's just bots fighting against bots. And there's this one called Micro Machine. I always like seeing that one. That's a crazy one. He used to just do all sorts of mass marine, but now he uses Reapers, he uses Cyclones, I believe, Banshees, and he's just microing everything perfectly with like 10,000 APM plus. It's absolutely insane, mind-boggling, honestly. Alright, this might be the last game before the second bracket. We have in the top left corner a red Terran player going by the name of ZipperTheFly. ZipperTheFly. His opponent, also a Terran compatriot. He is the blue collar though, so they'll have to kill each other. His name, SaLemandr. Starcraft promoting racism wherever it can. Not just race dependent, but also color dependent within that same race. Sure, we can talk an entire story about them being different factions of the Terran race. You know, Jim Raynor versus the Dominion, but no. They just have the wrong color. These guys like blue, and these guys like the red color. They couldn't decide, and you know what? It became war. It's down to this now. They want to kill each other. That's what I like to think about before the game starts. SaLemandr moving a second SEV over here, actually. Getting that early scout. Well, it's not that early, actually. I say it's early, but it's not that early. Just checking for... Okay, there we go. Just checking for the proxies, obviously. My head is running a little bit dry. Oh, wait. Is this the first game? I think it is. I'm just gonna assume it is the first game, guys. If it isn't, then I'm sorry. If it is not the first game, we'll just have to live with it. AlphaStar showcased PvP versus pro gamers. AlphaStar usually uses Stalkers. What happens if they use Bio versus Melee Zerg units? I think it's gonna be awesome to see. Have you ever seen, I believe there's this one AI as well that managed to do this perfect marine splitting. Like, it would be able to see what unit would be targeted by a siege tank, and then it would be able to move all the units away from the targeted unit before the siege tank actually connected its shot. Right? So it would be like every time a siege tank shot, it would just hit one unit, even though like it was a clump of units just moving across the map. That was insane as well. Like the things AI can do in StarCraft, it's just yeah, if you get the perfect AI without any restrictions, like AlphaStar is going to be most likely at one point, it's gonna be crazy. I would love to see AlphaStar playing against itself without any restrictions on there. That would be absolutely insane. Okay, but then again, like, we would eventually just figure out what is the best race. We would figure out what the best strategies are, right? And then it would just become like a set, yeah, already decided upon actions before the match actually takes place, right? Because it wouldn't make any mistakes anymore, and mistakes is what makes the game as exciting as it is as well, right? As an observer sport. So maybe it wouldn't have as much footing, but it's it still would be very interesting to see for the first couple of times. Either way, let's talk about this game, guys. We have some Reapers and Hellions trying to poke around. There's already a bunker being created by SaLemandr, though. ZipperTheFly definitely feeling more confident in this matchup. Not going for that proxy 2 racks across the map as he did against Uthermal. SaLemandr getting the scout on his early third base as well. His third base is even earlier, though, so he's got to feel good about that one. Always the best feeling when you see, like, oh, you're making your third base later than me. Alright, that's nice. Perfect. Small advantage to me. Couple of Ravens on the way as well. 2 barracks being created. Both players looking like they just want to do... Actually, I'm not completely sure what ZipperTheFly is wanting to do just yet. He's making that tech lab. I just want to see what other production facilities he does want to put down here. ZipperTheFly just kind of... Alright, did he get any kills with this Liberator? No, okay. We're in time to see the Liberator fly in here. Thank God for that. Caster hitting the ballpark here. It's interesting siege up, but he will deny them the production of his engineering base. That's the re-siege now though. Flying away for the Cyclone. Ensuring he won't get taken down. Sorry about the burp. I'm not even sure if that was audible, but who knows. Just in case. It's been going for a while. And the Liberator very nicely being taken care of. Only getting 2 kills. Not completely worth it for a Liberator, I'd say. Delaying the production on the engineering base though, but at the same time, right, he never made his own engineering base. ZipperTheFly, what is he spending his money on, honestly? He's making a lot from these 2, well, the 3 build. Okay, there we go, there is the 2 engineering base. I just feel like he's behind, right? He's just behind in so many ways. He has less production facilities, his upgrades are behind, his base was slower. SaLemandr looking just ever so slightly more dominant here. Very unfortunate for Zipper. We're in a bit of trouble here as well. I guess it is because he made this force, like the scouting force of the Reapers and the Hellions at the start of the match. That's probably the investment. Let's see actually. The spending tab, there it is. You don't see this one very often. But yeah, actually we do see a lot more investment into the army tech early on, and it didn't really do any damage, I believe. 3 SCVs, so that's not really worth. Definitely would want to have more to do significant amount of damage. And combat shield being created here for both sides, but as we can see, SaLemandr just ahead with pretty much everything. Oh, there you go. Even putting the radar tower down now. This is the sensor tower. Oh my god, why was I thinking about radar towers? It's not even a thing, Kozan. It's not a thing. Sorry. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting. Like it's still TVT, right? I mean, as soon as SaLemandr just walks into a couple of siege tanks and loses too many Marines, or underestimates the amount of siege tanks somewhere, he might just still throw the match away. It happens. It happens. No need to be ashamed about that, you know. Maybe if you are in the GSL, that would be the time to be a little bit ashamed of that. But in this case, you know, it's just the starter matches of the WCS, so there's still a little bit of leeway here, right? Don't have to go full out on these players. And then again, like, even if he does run into a couple of siege tanks, and then, you know what? ZipperTheFly might just run in a couple of siege tanks after that as well himself. I've seen it happen multiple times. You know, back and forth into those siege tanks. Overcommitting or undercommitting. Freemason, thank you again once more for the follow. I believe that's number 5 or 6. I don't even know. I don't even know. I appreciate it, buddy. Showing a lot of support here. TVT is the best matchup, of course, in Starcraft 2, right behind some other matchups. Such as TVZ and TVP and ZVP and maybe CVZ? I don't know. Nah, I don't know. I think it's my favorite out of the mirror matchups, at least to watch. If I have to play it, I feel it's horrible. You know, just watching, oh my god, SaLemandr walking in here with just a massive lead in Marines, and also the disables on the siege tanks. That's going to be a big cleanup here. Alright, ZipperTheFly in a lot of trouble. If those siege tanks were already sieged up, he might have had a good shot here, but maybe he made a couple of too many Vikings compared to the amount of Marines that are available here. One siege tank being sieged up, but 4 siege tanks for SaLemandr here, and also the disable available to him has to land these Vikings. That any type of shot, his base has to get cancelled as well. SaLemandr, I would love him to make another base behind this. Let's take a look at the production tab. 2-2 is about to finish as well for SaLemandr. ZipperTheFly not aware of this though. Alright, seems like he will stabilize. Remaking that 4th base as well. On the other side of the map though, we see more Marines and more siege tanks moving out. But SaLemandr not committing here. Being quite satisfied with denying that 4th base. And actually, alright, he did make his 4th base there. Now flying it over. Gotta follow like the USA Federal Reserve's print them dollar bills. Nice. Right, there is a drill again in the background. My neighbors decided they didn't like half their house and, you know, had to get rid of half of their house at least. Not even sure if it is audible. But, yeah. I've been hearing this for a couple of months now. I hardly even notice it anymore. It's not the best on a streaming day, but you know what, who cares? Here we go, SaLemandr getting in a great position here. ZipperTheFly not in a good position at all. A siege tank still in siege, this might be it. SaLemandr devastatingly getting in a good position here. Oh, that last final siege tank still there though. ZipperTheFly just barely manages to stay alive with a couple of Marines dropping on the siege tank as well very quickly. Making sure that gets taken down as well. SaLemandr. Still though, look at that. Look at that income. Let me see. Is it this one? There it is. Income advantage. SaLemandr dominating that right now. Well, ZipperTheFly, let's take a look. As soon as that other base lands, we'll look. And if those SCVs do decide to start mining there, we'll take another look at it. 5th base on the way. Just seeing this worker lead for SaLemandr, it's just going to be a lot easier for him to make these trades and then still get back on top again. Right, SaLemandr really in a good spot to take those trades. ZipperTheFly has to take a lot more beneficial trades for him at this time. Coming in with these 2 medevacs as well in the main base. Just to be even more annoying. Oh, we might actually be able to get these engineering base. If he gets those engineering base, that would be huge. I would love for him to target those down. Right, doesn't do it though, unfortunately. Might have been able to cancel 3 attack there, but does just go for the trade here. Cleaning up the Marines actually quite nicely. Let's take a look. He did have 3-3. It felt like he had 3-3, so there's no 3-3 there, but just having the better concave, I suppose. More scans going down. Those medevacs will be able to retreat, and we have a fusion core actually that was created by ZipperTheFly. Alright, yeah, there they are. There's the tech. There's one tech lab going down. He might just actually be doing this for the liberator range. If he was trying to make a transition into the battle cruisers, I would definitely expect this to be a 2nd tech lab. And then produce them at least 2 at a time. Maybe, you know what, yeah, 2 at a time would probably be the max at this time. For him already being behind here as well. Now SaLemandr once again pushing forwards with this massive army lead. The one advantage for Zipper is that he has those siege tanks already sieged up. It's going to be kind of difficult for SaLemandr to push in here, but as long as he... You know what, I feel like if he makes this concave big enough and splits up his Marines, he should just be able to A-move here. And he feels the same way. There we go. Unsieging those siege tanks, and here it goes. Has to focus down those siege tanks though. Yeah, alright, maybe he doesn't even have to do that. Has the upgraded front. No, actually, he doesn't have the upgraded advantage. GG being called by Zipper. He realizes now how far behind he was. First game going to SaLemandr. At least we assume it is the first game. Yeah, this must be audible, right? No? I don't know. No drilling. Just pretend like you're at the dentist, guys. All good in the hood. Alright. We already arrived at 4 PM, kind of. So the 2nd bracket might be going to start pretty soon. You know what? That might have actually already been a match of the 2nd bracket. The 2nd bracket. We might have just had a sneak peek of the 2nd bracket matches. Let me take a look. Star ladder. Where can I find my new bracket? Did it get updated right here? No, it didn't. It didn't get updated. look around once more. Let's take a look where we will find these. Group stage 2. ZipperTheFly getting that other match ready for us. Nice, just continue watching these DVTs for now. Just completely confused myself. Should ask. I'm gonna ask Faz. He probably knows. Although he is in a game right now. Countdown going off. Alright. Alright, yeah. So it should be the same players. Alright, so after this I'm gonna try to get into Euthermal's match again. Let's hope SaLemandr takes this one again. I do think he will, honestly. Seeing how dominant he was in that previous match. Or at least I say dominant. I don't think ZipperTheFly is completely hopeless here, but it just seemed like SaLemandr knew how to push all the buttons and knew how to, you know, just gain every little advantage there that was available to him. Alright. In the bottom right corner we have the one, the only, the red Terran player, ZipperTheFly. ZipperTheFly. Where is ZipperTheFly from, actually? Let us take a look. ZipperTheFly is from the Ukraine. A Ukrainian player. It's a new player. It seems, I don't know if he is actually. Not done too well yet. Age of 21. His opponent, though. I'm gonna look his opponent up as well. His opponent is not available in the Wikipedia. Alright, that's gonna make things difficult. Does make things more difficult for me. Either way, he did very well that previous match. His name is SaLemandr. And he's a blue Terran player in the top left corner of the map. Alright, I forgot about that part, I feel like. I'm not even sure if I was forgetting about it anymore. Either way. Quite standard openings right here. The one deviation we see is ZipperTheFly going for that second gas quite early. Gonna try to put that aggression on once more. I'm wondering if we're gonna see the exact same build where he does go for the Reapers and the Hellions earlier on. SaLemandr though, not opting for that second gas, going for that earlier expansion again. Nothing too crazy though, so far. Wondering to see what SaLemandr will do as well in response to this double gas opening. He saw it is happening, he has a Reaper though. Should be able to hop in there and get a second scout going. ZipperTheFly though, completely unaware, playing blind at the moment. Usually you play blind if you do have something planned, like an aggressive build, right? You don't have to really play defensively, scouting wise. if you're already going to be aggressive in a sense, right? Because there's not that much else you can start doing differently. But that being said, he is going for that second command center. His second supply depot is a little bit late here. He's gonna go for that reactor. It's looking very similar as the previous game was, though. Maybe he just doesn't want to give any, you know what, doesn't want to lose his edge by not scouting. Get a little bit of extra income there with that one extra SCV, just mining. There we go, moving around now. Oh, actually it is very much different. Look at this, we got a siege tank. Oh no, cyclone on the way. Was that different actually? I feel like he made more Hellions previous time. And more Reapers too actually. I'm not even sure anymore. I'm drawing a blank. Also I should do this. SaLemandr taking that first snap there. The cyclone very much capable of dealing with this, so... And it's gonna be able to take down both the Reapers there. Zipper already in some trouble here. Raven on the way. Very good defensive unit. Or offensive unit, honestly, as well. Thinking about it. It's just a good unit overall, right? I feel like the Raven is in a really good spot right now. It's just a really nice, supportive unit, right? You can't really go mass Raven, but it's so valuable just to have a couple of Ravens. It's so incredibly valuable. It's gonna add so much capabilities of your army, right? Suddenly you can push into a couple of siege tanks a lot more easier. Or you know, you can, well, going for turret harass is usually not done as much. Probably you don't get as much value from that. But oh well, getting a good scout here though it does is SaLemandr. Seeing that third base being created. At the same time though, already making his own third base into an orbital. So again, getting ahead in that situation there. Also, look at the workers. Look at that, guys. That's 39 workers versus 29. That is the power of not taking that second gas that early on. And still, like, even with the aggressive units, right? The Reapers and the Hellion at the start, ZipperTheFly just doesn't really get any value out of those units. He's not managing to do any damage. And I'm curious as to what type of stuff it would do damage against, right? It feels like either your opponent would have to make a mistake, or it's just an incredibly greedy build. I might be wrong on that. Maybe SaLemandr just, you know, being a god amongst men. But that is how I'm watching this right now. Third base. Flying over, thinking about taking that one, deciding to go for the other one instead. A reasonable choice. A little bit easier to defend this one, honestly. It's probably the better one to take as your third. I think both watchtowers as well. ZipperTheFly though does have the middle area available to him, vision-wise. So he should be able to siege up those siege tanks whenever he needs to. And here we go. Actually, okay, yeah, he did already start those 2 engineering bases. Already finished here. So once more, like, it's almost a mirrored version of the previous match, right? SaLemandr just taking a lot more edges and taking a lot more advantages early on. And pulling him through the later stages of this game. Still 10 workers ahead. On the dot almost. Okay, now it is again on the dot. Okay, and now it's just pulling ahead. Either way, let us take a look. It's just looking like it's gonna be again one of those chess piece type of TVTs, which I do love to see. Because of the earlier expansion, because of taking that gas later on, look at this, the production facilities of SaLemandr now already being here, and ZipperTheFly only now putting down his 3rd and 4th barracks. Luckily for him, his upgrades aren't going to be that far behind though, except for, of course, the Stimpack. That is going to be very far behind. ZipperTheFly moving across now. he does have a significant lead in the siege tanks. So, you know what, he might still be able to do something with this. It's gonna be very difficult though, even though he has a couple of more siege tanks, he's gonna have to push into an already sieged up siege tank line. Right, and that's never what you want. He does have the 2 Ravens available to him, but so does SaLemandr. So, it's really gonna come down to micro in this situation. Right here, and also the positioning of these siege tanks. Oh, disabling both of the Ravens there. SaLemandr now pushing in aggressively with all his Marines. A significant lead in the Marine count. Does he lose them though, but only siege tanks now remaining. I guess also we still have the Ravens with full energy, but they won't be able to do anything with those Vikings there, zoning them out together with the Marines. Very well held there by SaLemandr. ZipperTheFly now in even a worse spot than he was before. Some mules being knocked over there. 4th base already coming down here for SaLemandr as well. SaLemandr just showing really solid play against ZipperTheFly, and I feel better for ZipperTheFly. It doesn't look like he's having the most amazing run in the WCS here today. But then again, he did get a little bit of, you know what, he did get a little bit extra, whatchamacallit, experience. And it's very important. It's always very different playing in a tournament as it is playing on the ladder. Cannot harp on that enough, I feel like. And he still has a lead in the siege tanks, so you know what, maybe he still can hold this position here rather nicely. He just needs to make sure that he sieges up at least half of them. There we go, right, he sieges them up. The Ravens though are able to get some... No, okay, they don't have enough energy for a disable. The SCVs being pulled, I'm not sure if that was completely necessary with the just an enormous amount of siege tanks there. But, yeah, he did lose 14 SCVs, now even further behind in the worker count. Again, SaLemandr just shaving off a little bit of an advantage there, getting even more ahead in this game. Except for, I guess, the siege tank count. That is still the one thing ZipperTheFly has. SaLemandr though looking again to move over across the map. No medevacs there available though. I thought he might try the elevator drop inside of the main base, but playing it safe here. Not trying to do anything crazy. There are a lot of... Oh my god, look at that missile turret ring actually from Zipper. That's a lot of missile turrets. That might be another reason why his marine count is that low compared to SaLemandr's. I'm gonna quickly take a look. Yeah, SaLemandr not making any missile turrets really. Could have just done it in this tab actually. Let's see. Missile turrets, they should be here. They're not there. SaLemandr just playing it greedy. Well, to be fair, Zipper really isn't doing any type of dropping anyway, right? So why would you? Going in here with a big attack, big anti-armor missile though. There's no siege tanks anywhere near your position, and it's already doing a lot of damage here, just denying the space for mining. Good disables on these siege tanks as well. More Marines pushing in, trying to get more damage done. Resetting the entire count again for the Marines that Zipper does have. Zipper. Oh, lenses. Command center again, but there's still some siege tanks here. SaLemandr really not being too careful with his siege tank counts, I've noticed, but I'm not sure if Zipper really is in any type of position to take advantage of his lead in the siege tanks. It just seems like a very, very difficult situation. And now, right here, SaLemandr, is he going to be able to pull away from these visitors? Didn't really expect him. Right, does get away there in time. Oh my god, that one Marine! Did you see that? Oh my god. That one Marine running in from the back and sniping the low HP medevac that tried to run away from the missile turrets. Very nicely done by Zipper. That is always cool. When that happens, you know, you feel like a chess king, you know, like you just grandmaster playing the field there. Fighting over the watchtower here, a little scramble. The body parts of the Marine being splattered around on the map. Let me go back to the production tab just to see what type of advantages SaLemandr is taking right now. Actually, the worker count did kind of get equalized. The army count also is equalized. Siege tank count still in favor of Zipper. Zipper still, he might be crawling back into this game. The one thing that is very much in favor of SaLemandr though is this +3/+3. It is going to finish when Zipper's is only going to be like about halfway here. And also, of course, he has like 2 extra bases. That's also quite a big advantage. That's, you know what? Yeah, Zipper not in the best spot here. Outside of the siege tank, still pretty decent anti-armor missile. Is going to deny SaLemandr from moving forwards here aggressively. Doesn't want to lose his siege tanks. Does not have that many siege tank. He's still 3 available to him and has double siege tank production as well at this time. Both players do, actually. Seeing the weird upgrades coming out now from the engineering base. Oh my god, there's so much in the line. Wasn't the best there. It took a while for them to all run past these siege tanks of Zipper. He's in a good position though. An alright, decent position here. Both kind of in a stalemate in the middle. Okay, I'm still concerned though, he has to start expanding more. Zipper is, of course, moving around with these Marines, trying to maybe do a little bit of a flanking maneuver. Open up another front on the 3rd base of SaLemandr. Wouldn't maybe be the worst decision here, there's nothing to defend it. Just running those back around and forcing SaLemandr full forces from here back to defend that. Gonna happen though. More siege tanks moving around. Liberator range on the way as well here from SaLemandr. That's gonna be very useful against these larger amount of siege tanks of ZipperTheFly. So even that advantage is going to be a little bit minimized there because he doesn't have any Vikings. So the Vikings are not going to be able to deal with those liberators whatsoever. Oh my god, Zipper, don't run into the siege tanks, please! Taking a devastating blow there. Losing a lot of supply. Has to take down these rocks, try to make another path for his army to quickly retreat and relocate onto this false base of his. Finally, he did manage to secure his 5th and 6th base as well. Still has to make them into planetary fortresses though. Where are these liberators? There is one liberator right here. Liberator range not ready yet. Does siege them up already though. The siege tank just barely not able to hit that other siege tank there. Very, very close though. Is he gonna move more forward here? Actually, just spreading his siege tanks out a little bit. Trying to ensure he doesn't take too much AoE damage from those siege tanks. Oh my god, that's a bad rally. Oh, I can't afford to lose those Marines right now. Slowly but steadily, SaLemandr here. Taking more and more ground away. Pulling more Marines into the siege tank cannon fodder. Zipper, you got a hold position, buddy. Now also making a lot of Vikings here. Has to get that production up and rolling. Let us take a look actually. He only 1 Viking behind right now, but also making full Vikings at the time. SaLemandr feeling a little bit too confident maybe because he never ever saw any other Vikings being produced from Zipper. He has been a little bit lackluster on reinforcing his own Vikings. Yeah. More Marines trying to jump in here, trying to take down these liberators, defending his siege tanks, but it's not enough right here. The Vikings though, able to clean it up rather nicely. Let's do a little bit of a zoom out actually. SaLemandr isn't just gonna retreat now. It feels like that would be an okay decision. He lost his air army. He no longer has his Vikings here. He no longer has any type of real advantage. He needs to regroup with the rest of his Marines and make more Vikings himself because he is going to lose that Viking battle. Oh, very nicely running away that one targeted Viking for the anti-armor missile. At the same time, SaLemandr now trying to open up another flank onto the third base right here of Zipper. Zipper in a lot of trouble. Has to scramble some forces right here, moving the Vikings and just a couple of Marines with just 2 siege tanks there. It's going to be very difficult. The base already been taken down. Zipper trying to find a way. Maybe he can push in the middle. No, he cannot. The siege tanks are still available there. He has to bring a couple of siege tanks himself right here to defend this location. And there we go. Alright, moving actually all his siege tanks right now. And SaLemandr, is he going to take advantage of this situation? He definitely is. Look at this. Moving forward, moving towards that planetary fortress. He can siege up his liberators right here. Also his siege tanks. And there we go. Zipper realizes he got out of position. GGing right there. SaLemandr taking the game 2-0.